Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Jason Clark, and it will be my privilege and pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. On behalf of Wayne State University and the Department of Athletics, I want to welcome each of you to the 43rd Annual Athletic Hall of Fame celebration. Today's event is an opportunity to reflect and showcase the very best of Wayne State athletics. On behalf of the athletic department coaches and staff, it gives us great pleasure to have all of you share in this very special occasion. Now in his 6th year leading the university is the 12th president of Wayne State University, Dr. M. Roy Wilson. Additionally, President Wilson is one of 16 members of the NCAA President's Council who is charged with setting the strategic direction for the division. President Wilson.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You know, athletics means different things to different people. And I know as well as many of you, that for me it is a bit personal because I grew up with athletics. But I reached a point, and for you young people out there, this is a preview. And for those of you who are 40 years and over, you know what I'm talking about. I reached that point where my mind knew exactly what to do, but my body wouldn't do it. And so I said, okay, time to stop and do something else. Started doing cycling. And with cycling, I can still get that thrill of doing your best and maximizing whatever your body can do and feeling good about just you're always striving for your personal best. And when I cycle, I think a lot about our motto, Warrior Strong, because it's not just for athletes, but for anyone who is pushing a little bit harder, looking to improve a time by even just a fraction of a second, trying to do their very, very best, and maybe even pursue a personal best. So Warrior Strong. And I know there's a lot of Tartars out there. So even if you're a Tartar, it's okay. It embodies the same thing, the extra determination in all of us to overcome our challenges on the field, in the classroom, and in the game of life, and prepare as best we can to be the best we can be. So today's Hall of Fame inductees join a very distinguished class of Wayne State players and coaches. You've excelled on the field and in the classroom and community, and you led by example. And our current student athletes are working hard to follow in your footsteps. For example, last fall, 3/4 of our student athletes had a 3.0 or better GPA. 46 student athletes earned a 4.0 in the fall term. 182 of our student athletes earned academic all GLIAC honors last school year. And our student athletes have completed more than 71,000 community service hours over the last 7 years, more than 10,000 hours last year. Now, those stats are impressive, but I'd like to put it in a bit of context. You know, when I do my stationary bike training in the winter, I watch TV. And I was watching a series recently called Last Chance U. And for those of you who haven't watched it, it's really great. It's about 2 programs. One in Independence, Kansas. It's a junior college football program that was at the bottom of the league, and then they became at the very top by recruiting all these athletes nationally. And then the other team is Eastern Mississippi, which perennially is in the top 3 or 4 teams in the country, again, a JUCO. And they're full of student athletes, well, I should say athletes, who this is their last chance to make it. Their last chance because they've screwed up. A lot of these are Division I athletes, football players, who did something with their life that they regret. and they want a second chance. They're great athletes. But while watching this series, there's two things that will come to my mind. One was that despite how great these athletes were, how very few would actually make it out of JUCO, get Division I and Division II scholarship offers, and how even fewer would make their ultimate dream of playing in the NFL. So that's one. And the second thing that struck me is this is their last chance. And yet, their lack of academic discipline in most of these kids. Not even going to class. I don't know what I should do in Independence, Kansas, if you're not going to class. But not even going to class. And I say this because I could not help, every time I saw this series, to think about our student athletes, their resiliency, their talent, but also the fact that they are student athletes and they put student first. So I am so proud of our student athletes, and to all the Hall of Famers, congratulations, Warrior Strong.
Here to provide a brief welcome, first on behalf of current student athletes, a representative of the football program, Mr. Deontay Nicholas. Deontay is Wayne State Student Athlete Advisory Committee President and the GLIAC Student Athlete Advisory Committee representative to the National Committee, where during the most recent NCAA convention, Deontay was named Vice President of the NCAA Division II National Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Deontay.
Thank you guys all so much. This Hall of Fame class, so special, so truly special what you guys have done. On behalf of the student athletes, we thank you so much. You've laid a foundation, set a standard for us student athletes now to reach for, to go up and grab for each and every day. When we see your pictures in the hallway, we see your pictures on the internet, you guys are something to strive for. You've set the bar so high. And let us not forget people like Michael Chan and people like Kelsey Myers now, the people who make everything happen. We thank you so much, and all the coaches and the impact you guys have had in our lives. And just want to give a quick shout out to Troy Burrell. Coming into Wayne State, I watch your highlights like every day. Just wanted to aspire to be like you and just achieve the things you've done. And now that, being here today has all come into fruition, I appreciate you and all you other Hall of Fame inductees that I don't know personally. I thank you so much in your individual sport and being at Wayne State Athletic Department. You guys are truly, truly appreciated, and we're truly grateful. Thank you.
On behalf of the athletic department and coaches and staff, I want to welcome you to this 44th annual Hall of Fame. It's quite a celebration and quite an event for all of us in the athletic department. There's a big thing in social media now. It's looking back over 10 years. And this throwback concept is you post a picture of yourself 10 years ago and then how you look today. A lot of celebrities do it because, well, after 10 years of physical work and having a personal trainer, you still look pretty good. I am destroying all my old pictures, so we're not going to do that. But today is kind of like a throwback Thursday or a fallback Friday because we get a chance to look back at some significant moments and accomplishments by our student athletes and how it magnified and improved the athletic department. I'm going to go through each one of the inductees here today to give you a little insight into them and what it took for them to get here. Ian Larkin, basketball. Hey, if you've been playing basketball for 101 years and you're one of only 3 players in a category, you're going into the Hall of Fame. Ian Larkin is one of 3 players to score over 1,000 points, have over 500 rebounds, and have over 100 block shots. Jumpin' Johnny Klein and my friend Charlie Primus, they had great careers. And after they were done playing at Wayne State, they went on to play for the Harlem Globetrotters. Ian went on to law school. He also has a record that still stands today. He is the all-time percentage leader in field goal in three-point shooting at 46.3%. Now, Ian's 6'6", and he's the leader in three-point percentage shooting. Can you imagine how that fits in with Coach Greer's philosophy? I mean, he likes his big men a little closer to the basket. His freshman year, Coach Greer frowned on him taking those shots out there. But somewhere along that period of time, Brian Smothers, the captain of the team, came up and said, "Hey, Coach, Ian can make that shot." And like a good coach, he relented. Well, not to the point where he was giving up rebounds and blocked shots, but, well, you can have all three and be very successful in basketball. And Ian was. All 4 years that he played, we advanced to the conference tournament. Twice we went to the NCAA tournament. Once we won the conference regular season title, and once we won the tournament title. He ended his career 4th all-time in blocks with 115. He was 7th all-time in games played with 108. And the last 54 games of his career, he started all of those. And even though he liked that three-point shooting, and Coach Greer came to like it too, he ended his career 15th in rebounds with 550. If you ever go to a Coach Greer practice, you're going to see a display of hard work. And if you go to a Coach Greer game, you're going to see commitment and determination. Ian Larkin learned those lessons and applied them not just in basketball, but off the court. He was a 3-time recipient of the Conference Academic All-Excellence Award. Twice he was Academic All-District. Of his 8 semesters in school, 6 were at a 3.5 or better. And he concluded his career as a Commissioner Award recipient. Do you know, sometimes you can have a great career in athletics, but one game, one contest, one event seems to define what you did. And I wouldn't say that was the case with Ian, but there was one particular game that sticks out in the mind of a lot of people. It was during his sophomore year. We were playing Michigan Tech. And during the course of the game, Brian Smothers, who introduced him to the three-point shot, took a launch shot from the outside that bounded high over the rim and came back. 3 Michigan Tech defenders had done what they were supposed to do. They were standing in the key waiting for the rebound. But the ball arced so high that, as if he was coming from a building with a single leap, Ian grabbed the ball, went over the 3 defenders, and jammed it home. It was phenomenal. The place went crazy. The Michigan Tech players were awestruck. Kevin Luke, the head coach of Michigan Tech, who has a pretty good sense of humor, walked down to the scorer's table and to nobody in particular said, "Damn, that thing should be on ESPN," and turned around and walked back. Well, Wayne State won the game 81-64, and Michigan Tech made the long trek back to Houghton. That next morning, Coach Luke was sitting there as he tells the story with his wife, and they were sipping on some coffee, and in the background the TV was on. They had it on ESPN. It just so happened that they were doing the top 10 plays of the day. Number 10, number 9, number 8, number 7. His wife turns to him and says, "Well, just how good was Wayne State?" And number 6, look at this play yesterday between Wayne State at Michigan Tech and Ian Larkin, and they show it over and over and over. Coach Luke tells the story that he never had to answer his wife on that question. Well, the question today is, how good is Ian Larkin? He's great enough to be in the Hall of Fame. Ian, stand up.
Mr. Ian Larkin, please come forward. Ian's citation reads in part, Ian Larkin was a four-year varsity letter winner, 2009 to 2013. A native of Detroit, Ian became just the third player in Wayne State history to record 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 100 block shots. The other two, Raheem Mohammed and Hall of Famer Ty Richardson. In both his junior and senior years, Ian ranked in the top 20 in the GLIAC in scoring, rebounds, block shots, and field goal percentage, earning honorable mention all GLIAC honors as a junior and first-team honors as a senior. Additionally, he was named National Association of Basketball Coaches All-Midwest Region second team during his senior campaign. Ian was a management major, a three-year GLIAC All-Academic Excellence Team selection, a two-time COSIDA Academic All-District selection, a GLIAC Commissioner's Award winner, and the WSU Male Student Athlete of the Year for 2012-2013. After completing his bachelor's degree, Ian entered Wayne Law School, graduating May 2018. Rob, it gives me great pleasure to present Mr. Ian Larkin for induction into the Wayne State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Good afternoon. Now, first off, I want to thank God. Without him, none of the accolades that Mr. Fournier mentioned would have been possible. I also want to thank Mr. Fournier and the Hall of Fame committee for this great honor. I never would have imagined I would make it first ballot. I'm truly humbled. I also want to congratulate my fellow inductees. This is a great honor, and I'm proud to just share this day with you. I wouldn't be up here today if it weren't for a lot of people, and I just want to take a few minutes to acknowledge some of those people. Please forgive me if I leave anyone out. Now, first off, I want to acknowledge my teammates, because I wouldn't be up here without you guys. Basketball is a team sport. You guys had to give me the ball. I couldn't dribble more than 3 times without it going out of bounds. So, but no, we've been through so much together, the adversity. Every day we're together. We're together more than my own family. 6 a.m. workouts, practice, study table, living together. And, you guys are my brothers. Cole, Dale, EK. You guys have been here since I got here, and we know our first year here, we had a 500 season, and every year after that, we got better. We won some championships, so we really grew together, and I love all you guys. Second off, I'd like to thank all of the trainers. I had a ton of injuries. I was probably in the training room just as much as the court. So to Mike, Steve, Andrew, thank all you guys. I'd also like to thank my family. You guys set the foundation for me early on, and I know I don't acknowledge it enough, but you guys really set the foundation for me. So many times I would say, I'm sorry. It took me time to experience life to understand what you guys were saying. You guys have been my biggest supporters, and I thank you. I love you guys for that. I'm kind of sad that the coaches had to leave. I know there's a game today, but I wanted to acknowledge them. Coach Greer, Coach Neely, Coach E. I mean, these guys really gave me a second chance to play basketball. I mean, many of you might not know, but I was at another university before Wayne State. And then, so coming out of high school, coach is telling me, you're going to play right away. I end up getting there. Coach retires right before I get there for medical conditions. I come in with a new coach, have an injury that requires surgery. I end up redshirting that season. Then end of the year comes, coach calls me to his office and in a nice way tells me he doesn't need me anymore. I mean, as an 18-year-old kid with dreams of playing professionally, that was the biggest heartbreak of my life at that time. So I really thank the coaches for giving me the opportunity, having the confidence in me, and allowing me to be a part of this great organization. I'm thankful to God that he brought me to Wayne State for so much more than just basketball. I mean, my experience with Wayne Athletics has fostered my development into a young man and provided me and continues to provide me opportunities today. My time here was full of victories on and off the court, lifelong friendships, and great memories. But it's the challenges and that adversity that has had the biggest impact in my life. You know, while I was here, I went through 2 major hip surgeries that caused a ton of pain, a ton of complications. It was a struggle to get out on the court. I also had a tough coach in Coach Greer. I mean, all you guys know, he's not the easiest guy to work with. And I just remember while I was here, it took me to experience life to really understand what he was trying to do. I mean, I remember being over in the towers after a practice, calling my mom, telling her, I want to transfer. I'm out of here. I don't want to be here. And, you know, she told me to stick it out, and I did. And I'm glad I took that advice, because I wouldn't be the man I am today if it weren't for this coaching staff.
6 phenomenal young people, 6 phenomenal careers, 6 new inductees into the Hall of Fame. But you know, it's not about the pictures from years ago. It's not about the stories or the snippets. It isn't really even about those little facts and figures that were thrown out. This is the part that people don't get about athletics. It's a learning environment. It's an environment that tests you in ways that you're not tested anywhere else. And it prepares you for whatever comes next. It could be the president of the university. Whatever it is, you're better prepared because you've been a student athlete. It might be that your dream of being a major leaguer that others say you can't make, well, you overcome that. Where you have doubts about your physical ability to make it and keep going, you fight through that. Where people say, you've got to give me more today than you've given, well, you do that. That's what being a Wayne State student athlete about. And that's what we're celebrating today. You know, some people dream about success. And others get up every day and make it happen, just like the 6 you met. That's why they're champions. That's the example they set for others. Congratulations. Well deserved. Welcome home. Go Warriors.
I want to thank you all for coming over. I'm going to turn it over to our Director of Athletics, Rob Moyet.
Thanks, Candace. I'd just like the inductees to come up here with the other plaques, the 2019 class. So come on up and pull the sheet down. Don't pull the board down. Just pull the sheet down.
You got And then somebody reach on the other side. There you go. Just pull it right up. There you go.
Ladies first. Ladies first. Individual lady. Over.